Welcome to the OTP podcast where we bring you uncensored and unfiltered football chat. I'm your host, O or OJ, joined by my co-host, Chinny. How you feeling, Chinny?
I'm good today, I'm glad that international break's over, ready to get back to the Prem. And today we have some special guests who I appreciate coming to the show. If you guys want to introduce yourself. Anyone first?
Ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
All right. Hi, my name is Colleen. I normally am on a few podcasts or radio shows in London, but I'm an avid Arsenal fan, as anyone who follows me will know, and I'm loving the dynamic of the panel today. Feels like home. I'm feeling like Chinny. I'm so glad the international break is over. There's not another one until March, so we can now get into the proper competitive football.
I agree. Who wants to go next?
So yeah, I guess I'll go next. So I go by the name Santi. I'm an Arsenal fan, and we survived 3 international breaks in 3 months. That was boring, and it's so good to have club football back. So it's a pleasure being on this show.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I go as name as my name's Jefferson. I'm Trey's friend, a good friend, a work colleague. Yeah, I'm a diehard Arsenal fan. Like, I'm so glad the international break's over. And the positive we could take out of this international break, Jesus has been banned. He misses the next game for Brazil.
It's safe to say we all weren't feeling international breaks. I can't lie to you. I don't watch it much, you know. I know, like, as a podcast, it's kind of like you got to be watching international. I watch it here in the competition, like proper, like in depth, like when it's the actual competition. But I can't get my head around it. I just wait. I just sit here and think, who's gonna be injured? How many goals or assists, and are they gonna bring that form back in? But I don't really pay attention to qualifiers as much, to be fair.
You didn't watch Brazil, Argentina last night? No one.
I can't lie.
Brazil?
That game was mad.
Before the game even started, it was a bit manic.
Yeah. I mean,
I will watch. Anything else is a no. That's the entertainment I watch.
Is it safe to say that De Paul is like, you know, Messi's bodyguard when they're playing?
Yeah.
Because I don't get it. Like, I just watch for the band. He's just always ready to fight, man, for our Messi, like every time. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the card he put on yesterday was disgusting. I mean, the Brazilian players bought into every bit of his drama yesterday, and he got, 2 players booked for yellow cards, and he got Jonathan sent off at the end of everything. They just couldn't keep their head in the game. They all added loss before the game, and it worked for Argentina at the end of the day.
Just like touching on international before we move on, I wanted to say, because you guys are Arsenal supporters, did I read or did I hear your striker saying that goal scoring not his strong? Like, did I hear that wrong? Did he say you kind of struggle with goals? It's not his strongest attribute. Just when you guys tell me he's a attacker, not a striker.
So what he said was taken out of context, right? Okay. Because I think I saw the full statement earlier. I'm trying to look it up. So here's what he said in full. He said, and I quote, "There are things I don't control. I train, I look, I try, I move, I help the team. The goal is inevitable. I believe it's not my strong point, but I score goals and I'm there to score goals." So these last 2 lines were taken out of the whole sentence.
I hear it.
I believe it's not my strong point. It's what the media are broadcasting all over the place.
Yeah. I think Fabio Borini said the same thing when he went scoring for Liverpool, to be fair. But...
yeah.
I'm gonna help it. We gonna do that. I don't want this striker smoke.
My thing,
now one season they have a little sign of coming back this season. He's got chests for everyone out of nowhere.
I'm telling you, my chest grew as well. I'm ready this season.
We'll see how ready you are after Saturday. We'll see how ready you are.
You know what? It's going to be a great game regardless. But I guess
Yeah.
to the
Since we're talking about your team and we're going into the fact that you're ready, we might as well start with your team. City v Liverpool in the top of the table clash, in the early kickoff at the Etihad.
these bloody 12:30s. I just want to say I need to watch it. I'm watching it at 7:30 because I'm in New York from tomorrow. So like 7:30, the alarm was already set. I'm ready. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think all of our games are really good. To be fair, I think they are like, especially even no matter how bad Liverpool are. I think when they play Man City, it's always still an enjoyable game to watch as a neutral as well. But I'm going into that game thinking, obviously, there's people that I thought Van Dijk would have been rested. He wasn't. So I'm going to that game thinking we could do him. We could do him. I don't see why not.
Fresh.
Nah.
Van Dijk.
Wait, you got so wait. Can I just ask? Is everybody think it's a City blowout, like City boom, City's win?
I mean, for me, yeah, I think that game is City the better team at the moment. Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they've lost 2 games so far this season when they had Rodri out, but De Bruyne, I think they have everybody available in their team. So they're the better team at the moment. Liverpool are playing with, should I say, without a 6?
Yes, that's exactly what you
said. So Liverpool are playing right now without, a top 6 in the game. So man for man, City are a better team. They're having a better season so far than Liverpool. So, I mean, but, going into that game is a big game, top of the table clash. Anything can happen, but it's Etihad at the end of the... So, I'm expecting a draw that game for me.
And
or
I'll
a narrow City win. I'm not expecting Liverpool to win that game. I mean, a draw would be the best result for us now anyways.
Yeah, I was saying, are you thinking with your Arsenal cap, or are you thinking with your like?
But in reality, yeah, I mean, it's a very close game, but I don't really see City, running Liverpool over like that, even though Liverpool have a weaker team compared to City. But I mean, a draw is the most likely outcome for me.
I think with no 6 is that, or just I think having no 6 and playing a team that like City is going to be very difficult for us, because it's all right when you're playing certain teams and you're thinking, okay, cool, they ain't got the quality, as much quality that we can kind of hide our indeficiencies or any issues we have. But I genuinely, as a footballing fan, I feel like it's going to be a very difficult game for us. And I'm not as confident going into this game. Especially if it was at Anfield, I would say, oh yeah, regardless, we'll get a draw or whatever. We ain't dropping points. But going to the Etihad, I think they are favourites, and I would be if we leave that game without having a recognised 6 as well. I think if we leave that game and sit with a draw, I think we'll be leaving like very happy, because the expectation at the start of the season for the fans is completely different to what it is now.
Listen.
I'm still like in the old fans. I know you're going with this. I would take a draw. At right now, where we are still trying to sort things out, I think I would take a draw. I would take a draw.
Whispers of a bit of a mini injury crisis down at up in Manchester. I mean, until the day before or on the day, we'll see how true that is. But I feel like you were having a little bit of chest earlier. I feel like you should be a little bit more confident. As you said, your expectations have changed. City have lost to Wolves and little old Arsenal beat them. I think you should be a little bit more confident. You should stick your chest out a little bit more.
You know what? I definitely hear that. But you see, for me, I just feel like we've been lucky in a lot of games having no like actual recognized 6. And I feel like where we have McAllister, and he is very good at what he's doing. He's doing a good job, sorry. But I feel like when he's under pressure and he's got to that first touch and then turn and whatnot, you saw Trent drop the ball go on him. You see him make a mistake and then they start doing these sloppy. I just don't know. I'm just very like, I'll take it. I still think it's a game that we can win, but I will take a draw and just move on to the next game.
I agree with you, but I would like you to believe the delusion. I would like to
Do you think McAllister has actually, been good for you guys since coming?
That is a great question.
No, if you're talking about as a whole football and what the role he's supposed to be playing in, no, I would be lying if I said he is, but I think he's doing an okay job for someone that's playing outside of like their natural position, or what they're better at, being asked to do something that the opposite of what they're used to doing. So no, I don't think so. I don't think anyone that's fitting there. I don't think Endo. I don't think anybody's played in that role has been great in that role. But we're in a situation where I think Liverpool fans know we kind of like, we want this player, we want that player. We just have a kid that comes and plays. And to be honest, I feel like Klopp's looking at Thiago saying, Thiago might take that role. And I still think that's an issue.
None of these guys, is an actual 6.
That's the issue. That's the issue. This is why I feel like I'm not saying we're overachieving, but I feel like we're in that situation where now we've been playing well, we've gone a man down and come back. Our attack was bailing us out, and I feel like now our defense is starting to click a little bit. Van Dijk's looking a little bit of his old self, and obviously we've got Alisson, the best goalkeeper for me in the world right now. I think it's just working right now. But if we don't sign a 6 in January, which we ain't going to, I think you're going to start seeing like these. Wait,
did you just say you're not going to sign a 6?
I don't think we'll sign. No, I don't think we'll sign a 6 in January. I think we'll address it in summer. Personally,
yeah, I mean, it's even if you want to sign a 6 in January, it's extremely difficult to get, a very top player in January, except you're willing to pay the premium price.
How do you feel about Doku coming up against Trent?
That's one of the battles. I'm actually like, damn. You know what? Especially if the way we play now, if Konate is not playing, scary hours, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know he didn't play that well in the last game and whatnot, but his feet's too quick for someone like Trent. You saw when the Chelsea came on, just everybody just brucks Trent in it. Like, but again, and then it's like keeping the ball in the middle of the pitch is hard to do against a team like Man City. So for me, that's going to be one of the key battles that's going to either make or break Trent or make or break our team. It's going to be out there. They're going to just say bully Trent, bully Trent, bully Trent. And that's the problem I'm going to have just watching Trent get him burnt.
So if you was Klopp, would you leave Trent at right back?
Yeah.
Could you obviously go like Joe Gomez there? You could put him there.
I think that's something that is something that like most people look at and be like, okay, this is safer if you go this way, but I can't see Klopp personally doing that. And Klopp saying for what he adds going forward, he's going to come in that middle and Konate is going to have to cover him. I therefore feel if Konate is there, it'll be better for Trent because obviously he's a lot quicker and he's a lot more mobile to getting across. No disrespect to Matip, but if Matip plays, it's going to be a lot harder because Matip, he's like Bambi, bro. He can't turn. He's a bit of a fridge. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, just before you go, Santi, my next issue is that Konate like covering. You know, City like to play this like 4-4-2 now with Alvarez and Haaland. More or less a 4-4-2, even though Alvarez drops deep. If Konate does this covering job that you're talking about, how do you see what do you see happening with Haaland?
To be completely honest, you see Haaland, yeah, he's not the person. He's not the person I'm looking at. Like, even though he scores goals and whatnot, people might say I'm wild for this year. He's not the person I'm watching because I think he'll be okay. He'll be okay. But you see that man behind him, the Argentinian behind him, yeah, he is everywhere. That's why I don't like playing players like Jesus. You know, players that just don't stay still. They're everywhere, and you're just hard to keep a track on them. Like, I think Haaland might play to our strength, playing if he was a sole striker. But the way they play him behind him, he is just everywhere. It's so hard. And if not having a natural 6, but in front of your centre backs is going to be difficult because them spaces that's going to pick up that McAllister will be slow to pick up on, or he don't fill that space quickly. But we're fucked. So this is why I'm saying, like, it's a game we can win, but we're going to be defending a lot in that game, and Alisson's going to be asked a lot. So was it McAllister?
I think in that game, what's going to happen is like Haaland is going to stretch the play, stretch Van Dijk deep, like make him defend around his box, and then the Argentina's going to come alive in them little pockets where McAllister's not going to pick him up. Like you were saying, he's going to be the danger man. He's going to be the danger man because Van Dijk's going to be concentrating on Haaland, stretching because he's going to look to run you, and then the Argentina's going to pick up pockets. He's dangerous. For me,
and Haaland's not going to like back off Van Dijk. He's going to go, okay, I fancy this. Let me sit on Van Dijk and stretch the game. If he wins a header and Van Dijk ends it, you know he's picking up the ball. It's not our midfielder.
Yeah.
So I hear that.
He's just that Argentine. For me, I look in world football, the way he plays that 10 role, he plays it really good. Like obviously when he was playing with Messi in the World Cup, like he done all the running for Messi, and Messi was picking up that little 10 role, getting all the glory. It's going to be the opposite at Man City, where Haaland's going to be stretching the play, and that little man is just going to be in there. He's like a pest. He's a pest in there. He's just both-footed. He could take free kicks. He could do everything. Do you know what I mean? He's quality. I rate him really highly.
That was a signing.
That was a big signing.
What's your thoughts, Santi?
I mean, I was going to make a comment on the Trent thing. A lot of people go after him, you know. Some games, like few games, couple of games, he get exposed defensively. You get to know this guy cannot defend. And people, you know, want him out of the team for that same reason. And when you look at what he brings to the team when going forward, there's I can't really say there are many fullbacks in the league who can actually do the things they do on the ball going forward. So you as a coach, do you want to take him out of the team because of those few games that, you know, he gets exposed defensively and sacrifice what he brings to the team going forward? It's the same case with Zinchenko when you look at the Arsenal team, the way we play. Last season, a lot of people, you know, were calling for Zinchenko to be dropped from the team because he cannot defend this and that, blah, blah. And you bring a guy that can defend into the team, and then you see we are so, you know, drastic on the ball as a team in general because this guy who is so good on the ball is not playing in the team. So for me with Trent, I think for me, it's just his profile. That's what people don't understand. There isn't a single way to play football. There's so many ways to play football. You just have to, you know, put players that complement him around him. When we came to Anfield last season, if you notice, it was Gabriel marking Salah, not Zinchenko necessarily doing it in that game. So I think our mistake in that game was keeping Zinchenko on for that long. The moment we lost control of the game, we could have brought in a guy that can actually defend. But for Liverpool, if you're taking Trent out of the team, like, okay, we need to see out this game and if you need to see out a game, you don't need you don't need guys like Trent in the game again because he cannot defend. Look at what the same thing with Cancelo as well. Look at what Salah did to Cancelo last season at the Anfield last season. So, but for Liverpool, I don't know. For such a big team, maybe it's an ownership thing. I don't know. They don't have a solid backup for Trent, like an alternative profile to him who can actually come in and defend to see out a game. So that's the problem with him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good point. And what does that do for Trent's confidence as well? Like he's also our vice captain. It's like if you're saying, okay, these particular big games where they're gonna attack us a bit more, let me take him out of the team. And I feel like he's a confidence type of player. So I think it's only gonna deter him in his development.
But he should be signing 6 in January, though. I don't see how you survive this season.
You should have signed the 6. God knows how long ago. January.
I mean, you know, I just remembered you were willing to pay over 100 million for Caicedo.
You believe that? You believe that? Come on, man. They knew, bro. Because there's no way we can say we got 100 and...
They had an agreement.
Bro, there's no way you can say I'm going to spend 100 and whatever it was, 17 or whatever it was, the 15 or whatever, and then turn around and go, actually, we're going to go sign Endo now, you know, for 18 or whatever. Like,
yeah,
go
but
sign
I mean,
2 CDMs or go sign another centre back. Like, if you got money, personally, I just think there's no way you're signing him for that much money, bro. Because firstly, it's just not.
But they had an agreement. It was Caicedo that didn't want to come to Liverpool because Chelsea was there, and that money, I believe that money is still somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're building the whole. We're still building. Our stadium's almost finished. We're building, bro.
Lavia,
more seats, more tickets.
You didn't want to pay the price for Lavia, so you didn't really want the 6. Even though
Lavia was there as well, bro. Liverpool.
I'll blame the Lavia one. If a team try, I don't care how much I love a team. If they try to do me like that, I'm not playing for you.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. They actually, you know, they neglected him at a point. Started going after Caicedo and
Chelsea's cheeky though. We'll take both. I was like, Chelsea, come on, man. Come on, man. You know we're hungry over here, bro.
Nah, the Chelsea did you dirty that so bad. Nah, bro.
You should have kept
Where do we see this weekend going? Because I see it, like Santi said, as a draw. to be fair, if you do score first, even if you score first, I'd see it as a draw. It's going to be how well you lot can defend in transitions against City, because we all know that you can score, and we know that City are not always the best defensively either. And Salah can pick anyone that's on a good day. You have Nunez, the little road runner, who can do his thing through the middle. And I don't know who you're going to start. I don't know if Nunez will start because he's just coming back from South America. Jota and Diaz? Well, Diaz is coming back as well. So.
Nah, Diaz won't start. Jota will start. And I think because he's so good at running back and defending and just applying pressure as well. So he adds that quality, and he seems to be off the bench, starting whatever. He seems to be adding goals and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, regardless. So I think it will be Jota, Nunez, and Salah as the front.
Does Gakpo start in this little weird 8 role that you've got him on? You know, like the same thing that we're doing with Havertz right now, this weird 8 position.
No, listen. Comparisons, yeah. Maybe this season so far, but this. I'm not sure about Kai, bro. I'm not sure he's the one right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. But I hear you. But Jota and him are doing this interchange thing that I think only works with them. I don't think it works with if Diaz does it. And I think that's another reason why if they play that, it's gonna be Jota, because they don't mind like switching up and whatnot. I personally don't like Gakpo in that role. I think Gakpo needs to either go out on the left or play up top. And I kind of see, he holds up the ball a bit better and whatnot, but Nunez has to start game. So, but my chest hairs now are telling me we ain't gonna win. My chest hairs are starting now. Yeah, my chest hairs are like spider senses right now. I'm going 1-0, mate, or 2-1.
I'll message you at 12 o'clock and see what them chest hairs are saying.
Don't be shaving.
All right. Well, Colin, what did you have on that game? What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be a score draw. I think Liverpool and Klopp naturally play high risk, high reward. Hence why Trent is the player that he is and why he's still in this side. And they don't chop and change or don't have a second option like Arsenal do with Zinchenko and Tomiyasu. I'm curious to see how you plug that hole in transition. I'm very curious. The only reason I don't go for Man City is I'm not sure who the lineup is going to be just yet. As in, there seems to be rumours of a lot of players out. But I think lying. Liverpool, Man City over the last couple of yeah.
They're lying.
Liverpool, Man City over the last yeah, 100%. I mean, not to get your hopes up, but I do want them up a little bit. But yeah, I think it'll be a score draw, high scoring.
Jeff?
It's a bit of a tricky one because I feel like Man City are missing a few like defenders, isn't it? If John Stones and players like that were playing, it's a different ball game. I think Liverpool could really get at the defence. I do believe that, but it's going to be a thing where it's a thing like Man City score, Liverpool score. It's going to be a team what really could control the game, like have more control, because Liverpool are dangerous going forward. And like, you have to be honest to yourself, Liverpool are very dangerous going forward, and Man City are dangerous. But I just think like Liverpool, it's going to be a hard one because Trent obviously is going to go into midfield, and he's going to leave the defense really exposed in that sense, where like basically the centre backs are going to be run all over the place. But it's going to be about midfield. Who dominates the midfield? Who wins the game? Who dominates the midfield? That's what's going to be about. I do believe that. And Liverpool has got no 6.
What do Liverpool play then? Because they've got an array of options. I've seen Gakpo play in there. They've got Gravenberch. They've got McAllister. They've got Sablotsai. So what midfield three is like stifles Man City's midfield? Because Man City are likely to play with Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Alvarez, like just in front of them.
I think our best midfield three right now, again, there's no 6s anyway, is I'd say Gravenberch, I would say obviously Dominic, and then the third is up for it. I think it could be Curtis right now because I think he adds a little bit more defensively than, you know what I mean? I like Endo, but the eye test ain't iron right. It's like it's iron in moments. But you know, like for example, I don't know if I was spoiled with some of the CDMs we've had in or number 6s. I feel like I said this last time. I feel like he nibbles at the ball. He's not a ball winner. Like he nibbles. He just like, you know, them players that run you. If you hold him, but he's trying to nibble at your feet and he's trying to get the ball. But we don't have a ball winner. Someone who wins the ball, passes it off, or makes that 5-yard pass. We don't have one of those. And I thought that's what we were signing when we had him, because I watched the Germany game. He was winning a lot of challenges. I haven't really seen that. He just like nibbles or is going to apply the pressure and whatnot. And I don't think it works. So we can get someone like Curtis in, or even, and I get that why McAllister plays, because you can get someone who, when they do win the ball back, if they do, they can make that pass, or they in attack mode or whatever, or, you know, hold that play. So it might be Curtis, you know. Someone said, I was saying it was McAllister until somebody's posted their favorite 3, and I was like, ooh, I can see the Curtis argument. So I think actually that's my 3, to be fair.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess as an Arsenal supporter and us for Arsenal fans, we want to see a draw. If anything, I'd rather see a Liverpool win, because I don't see you guys going all the way.
Yeah.
I'd rather Man City not win and then run away with anything. So
Yeah.
that's the result I want to see is a Man City win. So for me, a draw or a Liverpool win, I'm taking that.
So I'll take a draw. I just also wanted to shout out Killeen for being on this show. She did say she was gonna, you know, make a feature and whatnot, and we'll hopefully have her back soon. But I just want to shout her out because she had to go. But yeah, we can move on to the next.
All right, we hit our next topic. 2 teams that I think are like, there's the top group and then there's the second group, and obviously Chelsea are always going to be in and around because of the amount of money that they can spend. It's just a matter of how quick they can make it click and get it back popping and buying the right players and getting them playing all together. And Newcastle are a team that I think believe that they should be here, but they still haven't got all the right players and infrastructure to get there. So for me, watching this game this weekend will be a fun game to watch. Newcastle obviously haven't been in great form. I think they've lost 3 in a row. What did they lose to, including the Champions League game? So they'll be trying to get back to winning ways. And obviously playing at St. James's Park is very different to playing Newcastle when they're away. So Chelsea have obviously had 2 good performances, one against Spurs, one against Man City, and come away with 4 points from them 2 games. So they'll be really happy with that. But this will be a whole different proposition and a whole different game.
I think Chelsea win, you know.
That's a big call straight off the bat, boy.
I just feel like their players are. I've always said that. I don't know. Obviously, I was going to direct. We was being directed at Senti or Jeff, but I just wanted to just chime in quickly and say, like, because I feel like their players are like I said, Chelsea need to be winning now. Whatever, blah blah blah. They're Chelsea, but their players they signed is like a project. You know, you're on FM, you're trying to sign the next kids and whatnot, and in the future, are cool need to win now. But I feel like their players are also talented enough to have some impact and play well, and I feel like they're also confidence players. So these nitty-gritty wins or the wins that they're having, they will go into that game more confident than Newcastle. And if you've seen how Newcastle played against injuries, whatever, I don't use the injuries excuse you said this on the last show. Everyone's had big injuries, and I feel like Newcastle go into that game like very like not nervous, but like we ain't been here before because we see ourselves, we should be here. And I feel like Chelsea's saying, okay, cool. Bournemouth throw them over. Bournemouth did a great job against them, and I think they'll say, okay, this is how Bournemouth beat them. We can play that type of style of football and just attack them and rush them into making rash decisions, and we can get an early goal and score against Newcastle. So I can see Chelsea's confidence helping them to win that game, even though it's like a very inexperienced young side. I genuinely feel like Chelsea can play that style. That style of football, it was just attack them, attack in their weak areas, and that's what they did. And Chelsea got the firepower to do that. It's just if what players come out, and I think their confidence winning the last 2, whatever it is, will have them thinking, okay, we can show them that we're not shit. Personally.
Jeff, Santi, you got anything on Newcastle, Chelsea?
That's another tough game. Newcastle are a very physical team. Chelsea, on the other hand, like we've seen so far this season, when it comes to big teams, when it comes to playing against big teams, they they've been pretty physical as well. They've been up for it so far this season. I think I don't know why it is like that for them when it comes to, playing against a big team. They are very much up for the occasion as opposed to when they're playing against a smaller team. So, going into that game at St. James Park, do I see Chelsea coming out of that game with a win? My unbiased self, like, I don't see them coming out of that game with a win. I mean, the best result they can get from that game is probably a draw. But Newcastle, will have to be on their A game as well. Because this Chelsea team, if you snooze against them, you're losing. I mean, a lot of people are writing them off, but if you look at the numbers they've been doing so far this season, they've been creating quite a lot of chances. It's just their forward that's been letting them down so far this season. Defensively, they've not been bad, and in midfield as well, they've been pretty decent in midfield as well. So if that attack is up for the game, then Newcastle need to be on their A game that game. But at the end of the day, looking at both team and everything at stake, the most likely result from that game is probably a Chelsea win or a draw for me. But it's more like a draw for me than a Chelsea win or Newcastle win.
That's funny because Sunny was like, this is what Newcastle is showing. He's like, but if I'm being realistic, we all know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a draw. All the reasons why both teams can win.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean, I know everyone. I know everyone has had their own share of injury this season so far, but at the moment, Newcastle have a lot of players out. It's not an excuse, but it's the reality for them. They have a lot of players out of the team, and you have to look at that as well. But if Newcastle have if Newcastle have all their starting players available, I'm not giving Chelsea a chance. No chance.
That's an interesting take. So you think if Newcastle had their first 11, Chelsea wouldn't have a chance?
Nah. Not at St. James Park.
I agree with you there. Because Newcastle,
you saw what they did to PSG. That wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, PSG's right now.
It was 4-1.
Do you know what?
Come on.
Newcastle are good at playing teams that play against them in a certain way. So if you're going to go to Newcastle and try and really play against them like Arsenal went there and did, or when teams go and try and keep the ball and play, they're up for that, up for the physical running, hitting you on the transitions, hitting you on the counter. The crowd gets behind you, they lift you up in the air a few times, and then it's all it's up to the ref what goes on there afterwards. But I feel like when they have to break a team down, and Chelsea are going to have a team, especially in the middle, who's going to do as much running as them, as much bullying. They won't be bullied. Casado, Gallagher, and Enzo won't be bullied in the middle. I think it'll be a very different game for them. Chelsea won't go out there to keep the ball and try and press them and hold them in. So I'm not sure if Newcastle are good at playing against that kind of setup. What do you think?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and you're 100% right though, to be honest, but I don't know. I just feel like they play with a different spirit when they're playing with their home crowd behind them. I just feel like they play with a different spirit, and Chelsea away from home this season, how have they been doing so far? I mean, they could have lost that Tottenham game, even though Tottenham had a red card. Had it been, I just feel like that game, Tottenham was just unlucky. Even with a man down, they could have, drew that game or lost that game. So them going to St. James Park, I just don't see. It's going to be a physical game, but I just don't see them really coming out of that fixture with a win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Newcastle are missing. I think Wilson's still injured, obviously, and so is
Isak. They have a lot of players out on injuries. A lot.
Wilson's injured. They got both the strikers injured. Then
Isak injured.
What?
I think. Isak and Wilson both out.
Yeah. It's
They
hard to
lost.
say.
They lost. The games. Chelsea
I said, what?
easy.
Game done.
Their game done. I didn't realize both of their main strikers are injured. They lost. Chelsea win that.
Then they got
Chelsea win that.
Bruno Gomes and Joe Linton just coming back from Brazil. From how long that is and having
that's a 3-1. That's a 3-1 Chelsea. That is a 3-1 Chelsea.
They
Do I
got
want Chelsea to win that game? Yeah, probably yes.
Yeah, they
I'd
got no
rather
strikers.
Chelsea
Their
win
main
from
talisman. Yeah, their main talisman are not there. They're not winning that. I don't see them scoring no goals no other way.
Well, Almiron pops up with a few goals. Anthony Gordon's a bit dangerous sometimes.
But who's going to occupy the centre backs? Who's going to occupy Chelsea's centre backs? This is where it goes. Like, obviously, their main strikers are not there who really make the defenders defend. They got no one. They can't rely on their wingers to score goals. No, they're not winning that game, mate. Chelsea are beating them convincingly.
I mean, I wouldn't be angry, to be fair. But
I can see that's a 3-1.
I don't feel like Newcastle are going to stay there. It's like slug it along for the 38 games. So I'd probably still rather Chelsea lose because I just really have a hate for Chelsea.
Yeah, so do I, but I'm a realist in it. Chelsea's winning that game.
Nah,
I'm a
bro,
realist.
I hate Chelsea so much. But now, I hate Newcastle more than I hate Chelsea. But, bro, nah. You know, funny enough, at start of the season, when that Champions League draw was made, I was literally rooting for them. Like, I want Newcastle to get out of this group, top of the group. But after what they did that game, I'm not even blaming the, officials' decision on the team. You get what I'm saying? But seeing what the likes of Bruno were doing and, the fans coming online to justify this, like, my hate for that team just... Nah, I would rather Chelsea win from that game. And even if you look at where Newcastle are on the table and where Chelsea are on the table,
you know it's going to be exciting in that game because I'm so happy, because Bruno is so dirty, but he's going to come against the next player midfield who's going to give him as good as he gets. That guy in that midfield for Chelsea, mate.
All three of Chelsea's midfielders are going to do it.
No, not all. There's got one Chelsea midfielder who hurt Martinelli. He mash up Martinelli. He gonna do Bruno. You can say that. He is a warrior in there.
Yeah, he's like want a battle. They want football. They want battle.
Yeah, right. He wants that. You know what it is? It's like he just loves that. You see how much ground he covers. He's like a young Makalele, innit? The way he plays, he's like everywhere on that pitch. He tackles so hard. Like, he's not dirty, but you know what I mean? Bruno's he's gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're coming against some real African man in there, bro. Some real strong African man. Eating their fufu and they're eating their hard pounded yam. They're ready for this war, boy. He's ready, bro. Them man there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very physical. So annoying to play against. I mean, and they still have a pretty much decent defensive line. I mean, even upon the injuries and everything, they still have Dan Bond in there. They still have Trippier, and I think Botman is injured.
Yeah, Botman's injured. Burns injured.
They got bare play.
Welcome to playing Champions League and Premier League football.
They are finished.
Yeah,
they are finished. Chelsea might actually win that game. Chelsea might actually win that game. Chelsea might actually win that game. They are completely finished. I mean, oh my God.
3-1. If it's 3-1 though, I can't lie. I'll give it to you.
Chelsea might actually win that game. I won't mind. I won't mind Chelsea winning that game anyways.
Chelsea
score. I think they still
Chelsea's going to score early doors.
But you know what? The problem with Chelsea, like Santi said, when their forward line is all misfiring. So Jackson scored a hat-trick against Spurs, but he could have quite easily scored none. Or he could have quite easily have scored another 4. But you don't know what you're expecting with him because he doesn't give you the most confidence that, I'm going to go and score a goal. Sterling creates loads of chances, but he's another one. He's not going to score you that goal when you need him to score. He's going to create points.
I mean, there's one other factor to be considered. Chelsea this season, whenever they are playing against a low block team, they struggle a lot. And I think that's why they seem to do pretty well against big team, because no big team is coming up against Chelsea and setting up a low block for them. You come out and play. You get, but when they're playing against much smaller team, they tend to face low block a lot and they struggle. And even the coach came out to admit it, like, whenever we're playing against a low block team, we struggle a lot. He said it ahead of the Tottenham game, and I'm struggling to understand why Postecoglou, or what is his name? I struggle to pronounce that name. Why he would set up such a high line with a man down in that game. When this person came out to say, we struggle against low block, then you go a man down in that particular game and you set up the highest line I've seen in the league so far this season. I mean, I
get probably the fastest attack in the league. They had on the pitch. They had Sterling, Modric, and Jackson all running. Then they got the wing backs flying on.
And Jackson kept on missing those big chances, and somehow he still came out of that game with 3 goals and a trick.
I think obviously Cole Palmer is big for Chelsea right now in terms of he's playing in like the 10.
He's amazing. He's a very good player.
He's the link between the midfield and the attack. He gets it. He turns on it. He tries to spread through Sterling. Step that he can dribble. I don't know if Newcastle's midfield might just beat him up a little bit, but for me, I feel like Cole Palmer is a bit streetwise enough to work his way around that Newcastle midfield. I don't think he's just like a...
Yeah, but I mean, what was driving out the other time was if Newcastle decide to set up a low block for them, what happens? How do Chelsea deal with this?
They don't. They don't do
exactly what I'm saying. And Newcastle really don't care. The way they play, they just want to win. They don't care if they come up against Luton Town, decide to set a low block. Whatever gets them the win is, whatever they're going to do.
I don't think they'll do that at home,
Not at home.
Do you think that
more pride? No, well, if you watch Newcastle, they think they're a big club. In it, obviously, they're going to fall into that basically they're a big club at home. We play our way. They're going to be thinking, innit? We play our way at home, and that's where they fall into the trap. Because obviously at home they're going to think, we're going to dominate this game because we're at home. We're Newcastle. We're a big club now. We've got money. We're a big club. We're at home. We play our way, and that's where they're going to go wrong. Because obviously they haven't got the players. They got loads of players out, like we're saying. Their defense, majority of their main defenders out. Yeah, their 2 main strikers are out. Their winger who scores goals, obviously he's injured. The one they got from Leicester, he's injured. Obviously he was doing well for them. Like their team doesn't look like, you know what I mean? It looks like it's a bit all over the place at the moment. They got that win against PSG. They thought they was on top of the world, got that win, and then they got knocked down to earth. They got knocked down to earth by Bournemouth. Bournemouth took them less.
They had AC done them, Dortmund done them twice. So they really
Dortmund, come on.
They beat PSG and it was just like a fan high. They're back in the Champions League. They play one of the biggest teams in the world at home. It was like, ooh, they got the big win. They've got Mbappe, everyone's sad on the sidelines. And then they come up against AC, who are obviously a lower team, and Dortmund, and they realize what it's really like to go from playing that Saturday to now on Tuesday, you've got to go to Dortmund and play in front of the yellow and black wall. And you have to understand how Europe actually works. And I don't think they're not just physically prepared, but I don't think they're mentally prepared on how to deal with these types of situations. And it's the same thing when I say I don't think they'll last a 38-game stretch. So
they won't. Because if you remember, when they played PSG, did you see how the players, every single player was so up for the game? How they was all in PSG's players' face. They was really like G'd up for it. There's proper up for it. You can't do that every game, you know.
I think that is like a comparison to Arsenal last season.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. Like, obviously last year we went at basically full throttle from minute 1 every game. And we loved it. Obviously, as fans, we're scoring early, then teams are coming out, and then we're scoring again. And then later on in the season, obviously, teams started to clock us and really sit back on the low block, and it was a bit harder to break down.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
we were
think
getting a lot. Yeah,
when that Man City's cycle now where team don't come out to play against us, and it's really going to be tough. I mean, everybody now wants to sit back, and I think we're still just trying to adjust into that yet, because like you said last season, we took a lot of team by surprise last season. Nobody really saw us doing what we did last season, so everybody just thought like it was the same old Arsenal. They came out to play, and we scored the most goals we've ever scored in a Premier League season. But this season, so I haven't really seen any team come out to play against us. Even the City game, they didn't really come all out to play. You know, they were a little bit pragmatic in their approach that game as well. So it's interesting to see how we deal with it. Because if you look at how many goals we've scored this season, a lot of our goals have come from set piece. We've been having problems with creativity. I still looked at number yesterday, and we're not even top 10 when it comes to big chances created in the league so far this season. So that highlights a problem for us, because when facing teams, because they're sitting back, they're not coming out to play, so we're struggling to create chances in this game.
yeah.
Welcome to that.
But,
That was our problem.
Yeah, could I say one point? Like, obviously, me and Trey was talking the other day, yeah, and he made a valid point. You know, everyone says it's a problem because we're not creating as much as chances like last season. We're creating chances for fun, yeah. But I'm gonna say something, and he's gonna love it now. Liverpool won the league that year where they didn't create as much as chances, but they had a solid defense, and it was winning 1-0s, and they was just grinding out games. You don't need to win the league by scoring 3 or 4 goals a game. I feel like if we've got a solid foundation of just keeping clean sheets and winning the 1-0, that's grinding out games. And if we win the league by doing that, I'll be happy with that than just winning the league by blowing teams out of the water.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm completely on the same page with you, right? But people, I mean, our fan base, I do not understand, because even last season we scored the most goals we've ever scored in a league campaign, and people were crying out for goal scoring strikers, like they want their own Haaland, because they saw this guy banging in goals every other week. And we had Jesus, we had Nketiah, and even this season now they've been crying out for get me a goal scoring striker. And I keep asking these questions, like, if you get in a goal scoring striker, where are the chances going to come from? Because these guys in the team, they are not heavily involved in build up and all those things. They don't care.
No.
They just want to make those perfect runs, and you feed them the chances. But we don't do this enough to get in a goal scoring striker. I'll rather you, and if you're trying to get in a volume creator into that midfield, you want to take out your captain. Yeah, exactly. You either keep Odegaard in that team. Odegaard is not like a Bruno profile who will create loads of chances in a game. So you either keep Odegaard in that team, or you bring in a volume creator into the team to complement your goal scoring striker, like he said, like they call it. So
I mean,
is there
problems that
we had
and for our team as well. Oh no, finish. Sorry.
Yeah. I was going to reference Liverpool team that won the league. Like, the best Liverpool team we've seen in the last 30 years didn't have a goal scoring striker. The goals were spread across the team. You have Salah banging like 30 goals a season, Mane doing numbers as well. I just don't get the obsession with getting a goal scoring striker.
I was gonna refer to that as well, and it's like, obviously we had Bobby, who sacrificed a lot to make sure we played a certain playing style. I think that's been emulated across other teams as well. I don't care what anyone says, but I also feel like it's almost like, I think fans forget, like, and I think our fans did it as well, they forget where you were before you got into this position where you are scoring goals, you are doing that, and they're like, if we just had this, like, you're always looking over like the next door neighbor's fence and seeing that the grass is green and whatnot, but you forget, like, for me, and I felt like I was catching a lot of my own fans saying, like, yeah, but if we get that striker, Salah don't score as much goals, Mane probably don't score as much goals, and it's probably the team chemistry that was there before probably goes, because when you sign that hungry, I want goal, I don't care how I get him type of striker, he's looking for at the times when Mane or Salah is turning into shoot, he's vexed. He's vexed because he's thinking you should give me the ball. I'm the striker, so you just need to now become an assist man. So I feel like I had to remind my fans, my fans, that for Liverpool fans, that be careful what you wish for, because it weren't so long ago that we were not even competing at this level, and now you're saying this is what I feel like. For when you can get a solid, I feel like a creator is so important. You think about Özil as an example, as a big example, and you had Giroud up top. That man was still firing goals, but I just feel like how the amount he was putting the assist on a plate for anybody else there. And I feel like this is so important. You could have a bang average striker, I've seen bang average play, and if you're getting the chances, and someone that can make chances is so important. But I feel like fans sometimes forget before you got to position where you're scoring your highest amount of goals this season, or before you almost won the league or just slipped up and whatnot, and they think, okay, this is how we need to improve it. But you have to be realistic sometimes and remember that if they said if you want to volume this, then then Odegaard is gone. Like he sits out. If you want,
yeah, you know what people are trying to do here. They believe, because a lot of us now have been crying, oh, we signed Kai Havertz instead of signing Maddison, this and that. They believe Maddison, Odegaard can actually start in the same midfield three. Bro, that whoever is playing that 6 is going to be dead.
Hell, can you imagine?
Madison has no business defending. Yeah, Madison has no business defending. Odegaard doesn't do much of the defending as well. So if you need somebody to, compliment him, that you need a box to box in that left 8 row. But I think I just don't get it.
I think where Arsenal fans are not seeing the vision. So Kai Havertz, when we bought him, his first game for us played up top against, his first competitive game against Man City up top. And it allowed us to then have Partey, Rice, and Odegaard together. And I think what Arsenal fans are forgetting is that Partey has been injured. So we've had to now adapt and put Jorginho in the 6, and then Rice on the left. But Rice now has to cover Jorginho's legs. So even though Rice does get box to box with it, at the same time he has to come back and do more defensively. So he can't really focus on creating or driving into the box, which he also needs to work on because it's not his automatic game either. But with Partey there, it would allow him to get on the ball more in better spaces. Same as what we saw with Xhaka last year. That's not Xhaka's best role. But when you have someone like Partey sitting there, the amount of times you're going to get the ball on that half turn in these positions to go and do anything of an attacking nature, you're going to have 5-6 chances a game to turn on it and thread in Martinelli, find Jesus, thread in Saka, drive with it. And I think that without that, because Jorginho is not really like a pass through the lines player, when Rice gets it, he has too much to do. He already has to drive past the first one, drive past the second. And I don't feel like Arteta, he didn't set up for this. I don't think he knew. Obviously, he didn't know that Partey was going to get injured. But as a club, we should have addressed that because Partey gets injured every season. Secondly, secondly,
this Partey conversation, a lot of people have killed me for it because they sort of mistake the fact that you're criticizing his injury record with you criticizing him, because they come at you with, oh, he's not injuring himself, this and that. And I keep telling people, I'm not saying this guy is injuring himself. I'm just saying, how does he affect us as a club? I mean, his injury records. If you look at the games Partey has missed since coming to this club, Partey might play 30 games a season, and those 8 or 10 games he miss will be the most important games of the season. It happens every year, every season. He had us with Lokonga at Old Trafford last season. Against City, was missing. This season as well, he missed the City game, I think he missed the North London derby as well. He wasn't there against Chelsea. These are the games he missed. And last summer, towards the end of last season, I kept on telling people on space, like, I want this guy sold. And it seemed to them like, was I mad? Was I crazy? we are halfway through the season already, and he hasn't really played a significant role so far. But I mean, is there now? I won't say sell him in January. I'll rather keep him till summer because we made a 65 million signing that's not been working yet, and we need a like a contingency plan for that. And that contingency plan is Partey, Odegaard, and Rice in that midfield. So we have to keep him by all means. So
if we do keep him, the difficulty is we keep him, and obviously as fans, as a club, we just hope that he stays injury free for the rest of the season and helps us for the rest.
And hopefully it doesn't go to the AFCON.
He's definitely good. That was my. He's definitely going to the AFCON.
That's the problem. My comeback from the AFCON with another injury. I'm just, bro.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
And Arsenal has tried to play the so he's played Rice as a 6, so by himself, and then played Odegaard and Vieira, and that it hasn't worked because, like Santi was saying,
it won't work.
They're too forward thinking to come backwards. It doesn't work for us. And then you also can't play Zinchenko in there at the same time.
Playing not a natural-minded, defensive-minded 6 in your team is dangerous, you know. Trust me, I'm living it. I'm living it.
One thing that I don't understand that he hasn't tried yet is Zinchenko in the 8.
I believe we're going to see it at a point, because for me, I think the reason why he hasn't done it yet is because, you know, he's so much obsessed with that inverted fullback thing. And the only person that can do that to a top level in that team is Zinchenko. So if Zinchenko is playing as a left 8, nobody's doing that role. But if Timber comes back, so I feel like we'll probably see Zinchenko in that role at some point.
Yeah. We've been unlucky with where our injuries have occurred in terms of how we can now place our team. But I don't want to see Havertz playing the 8.
You've been unlucky with Havertz.
Because of his physical attributes, he's gonna keep playing there until Partey comes back. That's just what's gonna happen.
No, I think the reason why we saw him playing there lately is because Odegaard has been injured. With Odegaard back, we'll keep playing the midfield three of Jorginho, Rice. I think Jorginho has been doing a decent job so far for me, except the Tottenham game. Since the Tottenham game, it's been pretty decent for me. Is Jeff disagree with me?
Yeah, I'm not. Do you know what? I'm being honest. Yeah, for me, the way he plays in midfield, for me, it's like he slows it down. When he like breaking them passes beyond giving the ball to like Odegaard in like where Saka, usually drifts, and Odegaard usually gets the ball in that little pocket, right? Do you mean he does it so slow? Transition, he slows it down so much. It's like when you're watching it, it's like he does everything slow-mo. And that's why he gets caught on the ball. He always gets caught on the ball because he does it so slow. It's like, for me, I'm not having him. I'm being honest. Get him out, mate. Play Declan Rice in that number 6. Yeah. And put someone else right there. Because I'm just not having him. I just feel nervous when he's on the ball. I feel nervous when he's on the ball.
But sometimes the slowness helps the team reshape. Because if you don't put him there and you put Rice as just a 6, and then you put Vieira and Odegaard, Smith Rowe and any one of these profiles, the problem is that Declan Rice has so much to do there.
No, but listen to this. This is what I understand what you're saying. Against certain oppositions you play when we want to dominate the ball, slow it down, speed it up. Yeah. But when we're playing against the teams like the lower teams, you need to do things quick. Like when you slow it down, like they get back into shape, and then you find it hard to break them down.
Biggest problem. I agree. That's his biggest thing about him. He just plays safe, slows down, good play, does the job. But when you wanna,
he's a crab. He's a crab for me. He does everything very slow-mo. And what it is, when in midfield, when you're playing against the lower teams, you have to do things quick, break the line quick, and make them be on their back foot when they're running back to their goal. But when you slow it down, against the better teams like Chelsea, the Tottenhams, the Man Cities, we might need to dominate the ball, keep the ball for a bit. But against the other teams, you need to do things quick. He's not the man for me in there. He ain't. Look at Tottenham. Look at the goal when he got intercepted on the ball. Bro, look how that was like you're watching it. It's like they put it on slow-mo. It's like you knew it was going to happen. I was watching it. I was thinking, oh my God, he's going to get caught on the ball. Look. get caught on the ball. He couldn't even recover. He's like he had a parachute on his back.
But I
He had a
mean,
parachute on his back.
I get where you're coming from, but well, I said this ends. We can't really compare that to say we have this injury last season. We'll probably have El Nene or Lokonga starting in that position. I mean, having Jojo there is better than having those two.
Yeah, he has to play.
All right. In one sense, all right, I understand what you're saying. In one sense, obviously dominating, keeping the ball, yeah. But I feel for me, yeah, I feel Nene, yeah, obviously he's passing, that part of his game is not the best, but recovery, yeah, tackling, he's better than Janino. He's terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
At Chelsea, look at Chelsea. When Janino, when he was playing his good football, who was in midfield with him at Chelsea?
Kante.
Right. Look, Kante. Because Kante was, what was Kante doing? Doing all his running.
Everything.
Yeah? Tackling people. He was doing everything for him. That's how he looked good.
All right, so
that's why he looked good.
Based on your video, how do you see the game going against Brentford away? Obviously, Arsenal's away form is quite good. We don't really concede too many goals away from home. I don't think. Do you know? I've been seeing obviously Raya is not eligible to play, which I knew is the case.
You can't play.
I know that's the case when you loan obviously from another team. But I'm sure at the beginning of the season, I saw Arsenal were asking Brentford if he could play in that thing. No, that was the cup. Or was that the cup game?
I think that was the cup game.
Yeah, it was the cup game that we played, the Carabao Cup. So Ramsdale will be back in after a cold, like, he's been given a cold shoulder.
I'm sure his dad will be happy.
Yeah.
Just make sure there's no pigeons or anything distracting him.
I mean, that drama was so
then,
unnecessary.
Right. Example, say if Ramsdale has a great game, he plays out of his skin. Do you keep him in for the next game after, or you bring Raya back in?
Raya.
For me, to be honest, I'm a big Ramsdale fan, and I didn't say the need for bringing in Raya in the first place. But if we're being honest, on the ball, Raya has been a much better player than him, a much better keeper than him on the ball going forward. But when it comes to actual making saves and a lot of things people has been complaining about Ramsdale for, I mean, those bozo moments from him where he makes mistakes and these things, Raya has been doing the same thing as well. I think more frequently than Ramsdale himself.
100%.
Since Raya came in, I can't, that Lens game where he gave the ball away led to a direct goal. That Modric goal at Stamford Bridge. Against City, he barely escaped. When he was pressed by Alvarez, and I've been asking this question, like, is this guy actually an upgrade on Ramsdale? But if he can get those mistakes out of his game, I mean, he's an actual upgrade on Ramsdale. So yeah, I'll keep him in.
No, but I disagree with you what you just said there, because I feel like it's highlighted more now because Raya's in goal. Like Ramsdale was making their mistakes, and obviously he had no one really in the background ready to take his position. The difference is now, because Raya is taking his position now, they're highlighting any mistake Raya makes. Ramsdale has made some major blunders. He's made some major blunders, but we had no one in the background to take his position, and it wasn't highlighted. Now, because he wants his position back, anything Raya does, they're saying, oh, Raya makes same mistakes, like he makes more mistakes than Ramsdale. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, example, look at that save what Raya done the other day, where, like, I'm not going to lie, that header, and he clawed it out, and I thought, whoa, this is goalkeeper, like, he done and Ramsdale was clapping him for that save, what he did. I think Raya, on the whole, he commands his box better than Ramsdale. Like, coming up for corners. He does a lot more better than Ramsdale.
Yeah, it was really good to see the way he commands his back four and just completely speaks to the team. It was really good to see. You don't get that from a lot of goalkeepers, especially coming in, and I feel like it is really like in the hot seat right now. But I still think Raya, I prefer Raya to Ramsdale.
Yeah, I do as well. I do. I really do. I just think to myself, Raya is like, when the ball comes in the box, like he's handling, like Ramsdale's a good shot stopper, but I still think Raya's a better shot stopper than Ramsdale. And I do believe
I get what you're saying, but my thing is, look, even this team generally, if you look at a lot of goals we considered last season, a lot of them were due to individual errors. This season as well. This season so far, I can count a couple of goals that we've considered due to individual errors. If we did away with individual errors this season, we'll probably still remain unbeaten. Because that goal against Newcastle,
You probably said
the
the
old
same
drama.
about Ramsdale last season, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jota.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ramsdale was.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get. Ramsdale was making these mistakes, and this guy that's come in to replace him is making the same mistakes as well. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I hear
That's
that.
my problem. I need him to take those mistakes out of his game. That's
So
what
you
I'm
wouldn't
saying.
sign him? Oh, you wouldn't sign him at the end of the season?
I would sign him, but I will only sign him if you are selling Ramsdale. I'm not keeping both of them in the team. It's not healthy for the team.
So what about Brentford? Do you think Brentford? What do you think about Brentford's run? Do you think they stand a chance?
On
I
Saturday,
mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't write them off. Brentford is a very good. They have a very top manager.
London derby. They went and beat Chelsea the other day away from home. They're going to play very counter-attack football. They're very quick at transitioning. They got Wilson and Wemo are quite like lag-wise up front. You know, they like to play for set pieces and win the ball quickly in midfield and break straight away. So it'll be very difficult. The game that we played, the Carabao Cup game that we played against them, was the way we played with our second team was very strong. And when we went there last year and played, it was the most convincing victory that I've seen us play. Even last year, it was one of our more convincing victories the way we went there. So if we set up anything similar, I feel like we can.
I just wanted to touch on Santi. You said this season, was it set pieces was where you conceded the most goals?
No, we scored a lot.
Oh, scored a lot. Sorry, okay, I don't know about it. I was about to. Okay, cool. Jeff, what are you doing? I was about to dive deep in there, but I wasn't too sure about that.
No, scored a lot of goals.
I'm not really scared of them Brentford as much as the last season, because last season they had their main talisman, and for me, he is a handful. Like for me, I think he's one of the strikers I would love at my club. Yeah, I would like at Arsenal because he gives you so much presence. Like he's just got a lot about his game, and they don't have him, and it's a big miss. I can see the way they set up now. They're more relying on speed now, getting him behind. Do you know what I mean? Brentford set up completely different. When they used to have him, it's like he does everything. He does bullies the centre backs. Go long. He does a bit of everything. Now they have to they change the whole dynamics of their team now. They're relying on speed now. Yeah. And I think that could fall into our plan because obviously, no offense, I think our centre backs, they deal with speed kind of quite good this season. Like I feel like our centre halves are really dealing with the speed. I feel like the physical thing, that was the one where I think, Gabriel and Saliba need to really be on it. This striker's really physical. Do you know what I mean? Now, but they've got no Tony. They haven't got that presence in that physical kind of person where they could hit him like knockdowns. They're gonna have to just deal with speed, and I think they could deal with that. I think our back line could deal with speed more than physical.
Yeah, so I think it's a clean sweep. I think we'll all go in Arsenal. I think we'll win 2-0. I don't think we'll concede. Very good away from home at keeping clean sheets, and he usually goes away from home with like Tomiyasu and depends on Ben White's fitness, but he'll usually go with a team that can defend a transition. Yeah. So
the speed. Yeah, deal with the speed. Tomiyasu. Yeah, I played Tomiyasu in that game because for me, he's a locksmith, mate. He just locks up, man. But he's one of the fullbacks. I just love him when he's playing against any quick winger. I just like him because I feel like he does. You know what you're gonna get out of him. Like
OJ, do you want to wrap us?
Yeah, firstly, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's watching. Like, subscribe, comment, follow. Also, I want to give Santi and Jeff and Colleen a shout out for joining the show today. Plus, I also want to say, Jeff, do you want to just say where everyone can find you on your socials, and then we'll go to Santi, and then we'll wrap the show up.
Yeah, obviously, like I'm not really a social person, really. I've got Twitter, but I'm not really like a person on Twitter all the time. Like, but I really appreciate that you lot brought me on your show today, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. Like, do you know what I mean? If you want to invite me whenever, I'm there. I'm up for it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Santi?
Yeah, it's a pleasure being on the show. Thank you guys for having me. Anytime, just shout me in advance, and I'll be up for it. And if you want to find me on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you want to find me, it's the same ID, Depic Santi. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, good. So he said, shout him in advance. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean in advance.
You made sure because someone definitely shouted him on the same day and said, "Yo, can you do a show?"
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you guys for coming.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Responding, OJ.
Shout out to my co-host as well, Chinny, and also to Mr. Y, who's not here today because he's sick, but he'll be back next week. But I just want to say again, shout out to everybody, and we'll see you guys soon. And bring on football.